Hello, hello. Welcome back. I want to talk about monetization with AI today. And this is a big conversation and also one that has a lot of kind of misinformation out there, and also one that can maybe be a little bit scary and intimidating, especially if you think that monetizing with AI means that you have to become some kind of master coder or a total tech person when you're not. And I'm just going to vouch for that right now because that's not me, but I do know how to monetize with AI. And it's wild that I am like building a brand new company that is AI focused and I have no tech experience at all. So just putting it out there that it's entirely possible. And so let's have this conversation today in the context of simple ways to monetize with AI. And truly, it's not just about building AI tools and selling them. That's probably the primary way that you've heard or are thinking about monetizing with AI, but there are two other powerful ways that entrepreneurs are using AI to drive real revenue and results. And one of them amplifies your profit without adding a single new offer, and another will help you deliver a more elevated and personalized experience for your clients without increasing your workload. So today I'm going to be breaking down the three clear paths to monetizing with AI that don't require you to become a developer or create the next ChatGPT clone. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly where you can lean in, what to avoid, and how to choose a monetization method that's aligned with your business, your values, and your goals. Good? Let's dive in. All right. So, first up is the category of operational efficiency. This one is kind of like a duh answer, but don't overlook it. It's about using AI to do behind the scenes work for you so that you can save time and focus on the things that actually move your business forward. Think of it in four key categories. The first one being like your admin and organization. So this can be anything like drafting, onboarding emails, responding to FAQs with saved prompts, creating meeting summaries, writing out SOPs or internal training guides. All of these things can be done with the support of AI. The second category here is content creation. I know this is one that a lot of you spend a lot of time on or have in the past, anyways, until you got burnt out by it. But anything to do with repurposing any long form content into different platforms, creating blog outlines, writing emails, generating ideas for podcast topics, even like the planning part of content creation. When will I share things? How can I build out work back plans and content plans or calendars with AI? The third category is research and ideation. So if you are doing market analysis, comparing software, oh my gosh, how many times have we wasted time trying to decide if we should move to a different software platform? Reminding myself of moving over my email service provider earlier this year. And just the decision itself was so painful to make, let alone the actual transition. And another one is brainstorming creative angles for a launch, researching, like pulling analysis out of your own materials. So maybe you had clients fill out feedback surveys and you need to now review all of that. ChatGPT and AI in particular is super good at being subjective and analytical around data and noticing patterns and things that are maybe a little more difficult for the human brain to do. So I definitely love it for that. And then the last one here in this category is around outreach and communication. So all of the emails and reminders and connection points and things that you need to like talk to people. So whether that's your clients, doing appointment reminders or follow-ups, potentially vendors, people that you work with, collaboration partners, outreach to them, follow-ups, those kinds of things all would fall into here. Each of these activities may not be revenue generating on their own, but when AI takes them off your plate, you now are reclaiming hours and hours of time. And that's the ROI, especially if you are a service provider, because every hour that you save is an hour that you can take on another client or raise your rates because your delivery is faster, or just have your evenings back because your business runs smoother. And now you can do lifey things that you want to do, right? So I think that's another way to just reframe how to look at the ROI of saving time, because operational efficiency, it might not be sexy, but it is absolutely smart. And it does make a huge difference in how you are being able to operate your business. Okay, so the next category of monetization is enhanced client delivery. So this is where AI can help you serve better, not just work faster. And it doesn't mean replacing your one-on-one calls with a robot. Absolutely not. It's more like having an invisible team member behind the scenes. So here's what that could look like: using AI to create personalized recaps after client calls so they feel deeply supported, drafting client follow-up emails that keep momentum between sessions, creating dynamic resource libraries based on what each client needs, setting up an internal chatbot that helps you answer client questions faster with less brain power. And the real value here is that you're increasing your capacity so you can show up more prepared, respond more consistently, even anticipate your clients' needs, which leads to higher retention, better results, glowing testimonials, here profitability as the underlying theme there. I want to give you an example from a program that I have called Visible AF. And in that program, I was doing two things. One is creating a visibility strategy for my client that would tell them exactly what their best opportunities, their highest ROI opportunities for visibility look like, that match their personal strengths and values and goals for their own business. So whether that's doing a podcast tour or collaboration events or email growth focus or whatever it is, and I would create that custom for every individual client. And on top of that, we were also teaching them how to use AI to implement the visibility strategy. So I wanted a very AI focused experience right off the bat when they came in for their started onboarding and began the program with me. So what I did was I built an interactive custom GPT, Olivia, the onboarding assistant. And so the first point of contact for my client was actually with a bot. And they would have this back and forth conversation to extract all of the information that I needed. And it's so much better than a form because it gives room for prompting. It gives room for noticing if there's not enough depth to their response. And the bot could prompt and encourage and provide examples and help them to provide a more thorough answer, which gave me really great information. I took that information from their conversation and was able to build out the custom visibility strategy. And I also had AI helping me behind the scenes there, which turned my typically 20-hour process into like 2 hours. So saving a huge amount of time. And me, I'm now able to give the client a fully fleshed out, customized visibility plan before we even get on a call together, which means that when we get on that call together, we're having a more deep, nuanced, layered conversation, which is allowing me to show up and provide way more value than just here's your plan. Like, let's read through it. Like, all of that had been done up front with supportive AI so that I could show up in that way more valuable, high touch, kind of white glove way that helps make the clients as well feel much more seen and understood and give them access to ask questions and all those kinds of things. So that's where I see this kind of enhanced client delivery going. And also, if I could just put out there a bit of a guess as to the way the trends are going to shift because of how much AI is going to start coming into our worlds and the way that we actually serve our clients. is that the expectation is going to be for more one-on-one, for more high touch feeling experiences, because we all know how much time we're able to save doing that done for you stuff. So I just kind of see the whole trend going a lot more that way. And if you can start implementing and finding ways to have it enhance and support your clients now, then you'll be ahead of the curve for that. Okay, so let's go into the third category, and this is the big one, and you've probably already thought of it, and that's productization. So this is where you're going to take your expertise, wrap it up into a tool or experience that's powered by AI, and then sell that. And no, you don't need to know how to code. So here's a few examples that are working right now. So I have done this in a lot of ways. My primary custom GPT AI tool that I have right now is the Brand Calibrator. And Brand Calibrator is my proprietary process for walking you through how to get clarity on your brand so that you can teach AI how to understand you, your business, and then the outputs that come from your AI become way more you. They actually sound like you, they are on brand, they're infused with your personality, they are speaking to your exact audience. And so not just for like content that you're creating, but if you're using AI to ideate or brainstorm on business strategy, it has that layer of your business as a lens. So this is super important for turning generic AI experiences and outputs into on-brand AI. So I actually took that process and built it into a tool that has like 5 parts, and it walks through essentially the exact questions and processes that I would do personally and previously have done in like a $3,500 VIP day that takes 5 hours, and makes it something that you can do on your own. So I'm very proud of Brand Calibrator. I call her Brenda after my mom, and she's my favorite. And she's like a VIP day in a bot. And so that's just one way that I have kind of taken my own knowledge and turned it into an experience that's interactive, that does a brand audit and analysis, and does all these important steps and summarizes up into one core document that represents your brand DNA that you then use to train AI on your brand. Another one that I have built is Valerie, the visibility auditor. So, being a visibility strategist, I turned that into a bot experience. And so, Valerie will help you with identifying what are the top ROI experiences that you can do for visibility in your business. And she's trained on my system of performative versus strategic visibility and has a scorecard as well. She's also there to help really build a habit. So you've heard me on this podcast talk about visibility a lot and talk about why it's so important that this is just something that you're doing every single day for like 10 minutes a day. And so she'll help take a look at what you did this week, score you on it, identify opportunities for what would be more strategic and how you can leverage those things moving forward. And she'll also address them based on like where you're at. If you feel like I just want to do something easy, low hanging fruit versus like give me a big challenge, I want to do a media pitch or something like that. She'll meet you where you are at in your own energy level and ambition that week, which I think is super important because sometimes we're just not feeling it, right? And then I have a client who built out an HR assessment tool. So it used to just be a form, and she turned it into an interactive GPT as well that would go through and ask you questions about your current HR like team, how you're running things in your business, and produce a report for you that makes some recommendations and ultimately then also pitches her services. So I think that's another really cool part of how you can build these so that they're always doing some pitching for you. And then I have another person who I had an experience with who's a coach, and she built this 5-minute laser coach GPT, which I think is so awesome. It's actually something that she's given away. She's given it to her clients and she's given it away in like packages before to help show how she coaches. So it's like a little taste of how she operates. Very cool how it actually represents her, but it definitely takes tweaking to make sure that your brand is infused into a tool like that. So those are just a few examples of ways that you can monetize through productization. So think about tools that help provide access to your method 24/7 or help you reach more people without adding calls to your calendar or create new revenue streams with your existing IP. So now for a word of caution, okay? This is big. The moment you put your proprietary methods into an AI tool, you need to be thinking about IP protection because the risk is real. And the majority of people out there who are creating and selling GPTs right now are not really thinking about that, which is exactly why I recorded a full workshop on this. And in it, I walk you through these 3 monetization options in more depth, as well as the security guardrails that you need in place to protect your brand, and exactly how to test your custom GPTs or AI tools like a hacker so that you can ensure that you're protected. And it also shares a new tool that I have been building that does all of this automatically. So if you want the full picture and all of those details as well, check the show notes. I've added a special code there so you can grab the workshop recording for just $1. That's because I don't want you to fear stepping into this. I also don't want you walking into this blind. And the truth is, AI is here, it's not going anywhere. And the question just becomes, how do we use this in ways that support our businesses and our values and protect the IP that we have worked so hard in our careers and experience to acquire? So I hope that this episode has given you some clarity, sparked some ideas. I'm always in my DMs for conversations about these podcast episodes. So head over and send me a message at ksco_Kelly. Let me know which of these paths you're most curious about. And until next time, remember, AI is not replacing you. It's here to help you human better. Bye for now.